had a lot of students ask me questions like, okay, in today's day and age, a lot of times you're connecting with somebody through social media. So how do you then make that jump between social media to, I want to get to know this person? What does that look like? How do you transition that way?
So I would say that's on the guy, first of all.
Oh,
I would hope that men would step up and lead. But I think if you're a girl and you're in that position where a guy keeps texting you, at some point I'd be like, hey, like, let's talk in real life, because relationships happen in real life, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not to say that they can't be initiated by social media, or like you can't message. Like, we use all those platforms to communicate with people, but like the way we connect with other people as humans is by being with them and sharing experiences with them and seeing their facial expressions when you talk about something, because you learn so much about how someone is by the way they react to things. What would you say?
I would say creating, when you're just starting out, like creating opportunities to do stuff in groups with people you're both probably going to be comfortable with. Like this, if it's really nice if you have a mutual friend group. Like, hey, let's go, do whatever.
There's power in numbers.
Yeah, there really
so
is.
good.
There really is. Because accountability, maybe we'll get to this later, but like accountability and boundaries are super important. At any stage of it, like no matter how old you are. But like getting some mutual friends together, like, hey, let's go out for, like, let's go to cookout and hang out.
But also, I mean, not doing things by yourself also tells you a lot more about a person, because any time you're trying to impress someone else, you're going to be like a cleaned up, best version of
Wearing
yourself.
deodorant.
Yeah, wear your deodorant.
You come with your best, your mama jokes.
Right.
Exactly.
You're
version
in it to
of
win it.
yourself.
Oh, Timmy.
But the reality is, like, we are who we are at our core with people that we're not trying to impress.
That's
with our
true.
family, with
Yeah.
our parents, with our siblings. And so, like, seeing someone with their friends, or seeing someone with their family, or with their,
And even how the friends speak of that person.
Yeah.
You know, that you can catch some subtle things maybe through that. And can we kind of just press pause real quick?
Yeah.
I feel in my gut that with people listening, whether it's middle school, high school, or whoever, it could be college kids or even beyond, like, if you live in mom and dad's house, like, no matter what it is we're talking about,
Right.
it's merely just that of opinion, or just, what we think is the best way to pursue it, but you kind of have to submit to mom and dad's rules.
100%.
So just, and I know, I just want to make sure that assumption's not put there, but I would think, obviously middle school, definitely high school, but kind of whatever, like, maybe we can speak into that, like, maybe that tug of war of what mom and dad are wanting versus you're wanting, and how you can honor that but still grow in maturity towards that for maybe the college years.
Right. Well, Matthew, you even mentioned that. You said that part of the reason you didn't date in high school was a little bit your mom and dad were like, you're not ready for that yet.
Right.
So how did you deal
agree
with
with
that?
that?
Yeah. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, no, I agreed with it. Like, in hindsight, like, a lot of things make sense in hindsight. So in
I always do.
hindsight, I think it made a lot of sense. Like, for me, not that it's the right choice for everyone, but for me, it was good. And I think not being a parent, but like looking at my parents, like, they knew where I was at a maturity level a lot better than I did, and so they made a decision based on what they felt like was right for me. And in hindsight, like, there's obviously, because I married Brittany after meeting her in college, like, there's no relationships that it's not like I missed anything by not dating.
Oh, sure.
But did you have friends
So-
that were dating a lot? And if so, like, did you feel like, I'm missing out because my friends all are dating somebody? Or maybe Brittany had
could
that
probably
too.
speak to that more. I did not. I did not.
I'll speak to that. How about
Do tell.
that? So I was allowed to date my senior year. And I think if I had had that conversation with my mom, it would have been a maturity question, a question of who the guy is,
Right.
a lot of other questions. But I also totally respect why and understand why parents would say no. I think the reality is, if you want to be dating someone, there's absolutely no reason you can't develop a really good friendship with them.
Yeah.
And there's no reason that friendship can't be built on in 2 or 3 years if you've
good.
developed that friendship. So,
Yeah.
like, if if you personally can't put that off, and if that person can't put that off, like, that is more a question of your, like, personal discipline and your ability to, like, what are you prioritizing in that relationship? And ultimately, like, once you're married, and if you're dating for marriage, like, once you're married, a lot, the things that matter are your friendship, your character, like, how you make decisions, what you like to do, like, those things really matter.
Yeah.
And you can do that, you can find those things out about people whether you're dating them or not.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like
It's true.
a healthy dating relationship is going to look a lot like a friendship. It's going to have all the characteristics of a friendship. I think it's just more, it's going to be more intentional.
What would you say to students that feel like they need to have somebody that they have to date?
Yeah.
Especially girls, I think, feel like that. But I think some guys also feel like that too, where they feel like everybody around them is, or I need to experience this or whatever. What would you guys say to them?
Well, I would say, so dating isn't gonna fix anything. So if someone's viewing dating as, well, if I were dating, then I would,
Feel
fulfilled. Feels like, as a guy, like, feel like a leader, or feel stronger, or feel more in control, or more valued.
Or not struggle with lust.
Or not struggle with lust if I were dating. That's not, dating is an amplifier.
Right.
For anything.
Oh,
Like,
that is so good.
if
Dating,
you're
we need to quote
like,
that.
if you're a jerk,
That's very tweetable.
dating is going to amplify that. Like, if you struggle with lust, dating is going to amplify that.
Right.
And you can, pretty much anything, like, dating is going to amplify
Right.
that.
Integrity issues.
Integrity issue,
Right.
exactly.
Goes on and on.
Character flaws, yes.
Yep. So I think it goes back to dating. Dating, it's friendship with intentionality. It's not a fix or something that's going to help you get through something that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
So I think from the girl's perspective, the whole value question of, like, is a guy attracted to me? Does he love me? Does he whatever? Like, so for me personally, I dated that senior of high school for 6 months, then didn't date until I dated Matthew.
Oh, okay.
Just because it didn't work out. So definitely had to, like, work through those questions of, like, well, why? Like, why is no one interested in me? Why, why are these things? But ultimately, like, you have to understand that your value does not come from another person, and they can't affirm you or fulfill you. Like, it truly comes from the Lord, and the fact that He is, like, created you in His image, and He's created you for a purpose. Whether or not you're dating, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're single, if you're dating, if you're married, like, it does not matter, and that is not going to fix you. And it actually can set you up for a lot of problems in marriage if you think, well, I'm going to get married and now I will be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Right.
And same thing with dating too, but it's, even more so once you're married. And if you can know, like, my identity doesn't come from Matthew, like, it comes from the Lord. And so because of that, like, if He doesn't tell me something I want Him to tell me, like, I'm not offended, because ultimately my relationship with the Lord is where I find that, like, value driven, or vice versa, like, if I'm not doing what I should be doing,
right.
So
Wow, that's good.